You are Dolphins?
No, so I actually,
Jaguars.
well, I grew up in North Carolina, so Panthers, and
Right.
then I went to high school and middle school in Tampa Bay area. And my first
Oh,
NFL game was a Buccaneers game. So,
nice. Okay.
but there's a twist. So Super Bowl, all of my dad's side is from Kansas City. Huge Chiefs fan.
Oh,
So I was like, oh no, I just need to wear red. That's all I need to do.
my
Just
goodness,
red.
man. What are the odds of that?
Yeah. But I mean, I wanted the Bucks to win because that's just I grew up there and that was my
Team.
first game. But yeah, it was tough. It was like as long as I'm red, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
happened to me. That happened to me in college because I grew up with Penn State, obviously.
Right.
But when I went to school, I went to Pitt, and they were rivals.
Mhm.
And once in a while, they would play each other. In my senior year, they played, and it was at Penn State, and my sorority won a trip out to the game. And so, the girls are like, all like, you got to paint your face, you got to do this. And I'm like, no, you can put a paw on my face because that's neutral. And I
Right.
wore blue because
Okay.
we both have blue.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
was like, and it pained me, but I sat on the Pitt side because it was the right thing to do.
Mhm.
But so I cheered for Pitt, and then I secretly cheered for Penn State, and Pitt got clobbered, of course. But yeah, I really was having like this Jekyll
Well,
and
then
Hyde thing.
you're probably good to get like a paw tattooed on your face because now you're a husky.
I know. Well, actually, if I were ever to get a tattoo again, I'm a one and done gal, but if I were ever to do it, I could do the paw. I don't know. I'd be torn between a paw and the penguin. I have a thing for penguins.
We love penguins. Yeah. Mhm.
Penguin, and any reason, and I promise everybody this is the last story I asked, but what's the interest behind penguins?
Well, first of all, I think they're fun, and I think they're cute, and I love the way they waddle. And I just feel okay. So this kind of ties to first year stuff. I'm not going to lie. This is probably why I do what I do for a living.
Okay.
So there's actually some tie in here. But I was really lost my first year of college, like totally lost, 4.5 hours away from home. I went to school at a very small, I went to school here in Bloomsburg. I'm from Bloomsburg. And then I went to college at Pitt, so I went from a school of 500 students to a school of 15,000. And I kind of got lost really fast. And, but I made some friends through the residence halls, and I ended up getting connected to an RA who was in a sorority, and I swore I was never going to do that. And I ended up meeting people who ended up being like my second family. And I finally got rooted to Pitt through that experience. And our mascot was the penguin. So it's like this kind of,
Okay.
so we were the penguins, and I don't know. I just really love the penguin now. So.
Okay.
There you go.
Good to know. Team
You
Penguin.
like how I tied that in?
You brought it back around like a boomerang. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I think we've given enough time for everyone here to funnel in. My name is Tom Kresh. I'm the Associate Director of Communications here in the admissions office. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's, at least in Bloomsburg, it's kind of a rainy evening. So I know I'm not really giving up that much. My wife is kind of corralling our kids downstairs. So I'm not sacrificing that much, but I know you all are. You probably have beautiful weather, and I know everyone is anxiously awaiting the NFL draft that starts at 8. So we'll be done by 8. But thank you so much for joining us. This is a great time for you to learn more about the orientation season, right? So for a lot of students, parents, supporters, this idea of orientation generally is that it's one day. You come, you learn everything you need to know about the university you're going to be starting classes at in the fall, wipe your hands, and you're done. That's not the case at Bloomsburg. We have evolved to something bigger and better than that. And Kayla and Jennifer are going to be diving deep into what that process is going to look like, just to offer you a little bit of preview and get you excited for what's to come this summer. But before we go any further, Kayla and Jennifer, would you mind introducing yourselves?
Sure. So I'm Jen Hunsinger, and I'm the Director of First Year Experience and Student Transition.
All right, great.
Hi, I'm Kayla May, and I'm the Associate Director of First Year Experience and Student Transition.
Yes. So these are faces that you will get used to seeing throughout the course of the summer and at orientation and at welcome week. So these are, faces you want to commit to memory here. But without any further ado, we do have a presentation slide deck that we will be walking you guys through. If you have any questions, please feel free to either put them into the chat box or you can type them as a question. And I will make sure to get them to Kayla and Jennifer for a prompt answer. And then this is being recorded, just kind of a heads up. But we can go ahead and get started. Let me just share my screen. And here we go. All right.
All right, so as Tom mentioned, we will be discussing kind of everything that has to do with the new student orientation season. So we'll talk about the different events. We'll talk about when and how these events are going to be advertised, given to the students and the supporters. We'll talk about the house. We'll talk about our pre-orientation experience, which is Bloom Bound, Zoom with Bloom, which is what we're doing right now, but we will be taking that over from admissions actually starting next week. We'll also talk about your Before Bloomsburg or Before BU course, welcome weekend, a few frequently asked questions that we usually get, and then we'll take questions from you all. Like Tom said, any questions you have throughout, please go ahead and shout them out in either the chat or the Q&A.
Please do.
I think we can go to the next slide.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's fine. All right, so new student orientation. So the actual event, we are going to be in person, and we're going to also offer a virtual opportunity. On the next slide will actually be those dates. You can keep that in mind. But for new student orientation, we have you tracked because there are different there's different audiences. So there's first-time college students, so students that have never been to college. This does not include students that have taken college courses while in high school. These are students that have never actually been in college as a college student. And then we have our transfers who have been at another university or a college and now are joining us at Bloomsburg University. And then we have our supporters. So supporters are our students' parents. There are anyone that is there to support our students. We've realized that some students have supporters that aren't their parents, so we want to be inclusive of that. So this is really anyone that is here that is going to be sharing this experience with the students. So at first, you're going to have a welcome to BU session. So that's when you're going to hear from myself, maybe Jen, maybe a few other people from our office, the president and or the provost of the university. And you'll also get to meet our orientation leaders and just kind of understand what to expect that day. Then after that, you'll have the opportunity to hear from different resources via a panel, different resources at Bloomsburg. You'll have the opportunity to discuss academics. So you'll be able to actually start scheduling your classes for fall, which is really exciting. This is something new that we're doing at Bloomsburg this year. So yay, you. I'm excited for you. This is something that you actually get to have ownership of what classes you're taking this fall. And then you'll also be able to just kind of talk to so the orientation leaders that are within your major, they can offer different suggestions as current students, and you'll also have the opportunity to be speaking with your department chair within your major. So a lot of connections we made there, definitely. And then you'll have your HAL group, which, like I mentioned earlier, the HALs are your orientation leaders. So they're going to kind of give you a student perspective. They're going to run you through everything that you really need to know to be successful when you come to campus in August. We will also have the opportunity for the supporters to talk to the deans, talk to the deans, alumni, and professional engagement, and our student success specialists here on campus. And they will just offer insight on how the supporters can partner with them and support the students throughout their time here at Bloomsburg. And we'll also have a panel for the supporters that is actually made of supporters. So current Bloomsburg employees that have students on campus right now. So they're literally going through the exact same thing that the supporters are going through. So a lot of great advice and insight will be given during that panel. And then last but not least, we will have the supporters will be able to hear from residence life staff and some off-campus representatives as well, just to get a kind of inside scoop on what it's going to be like to have a student on campus, either living on campus or commuting, and kind of how you can help support them with that experience as well. And then below with the asterisks, we'll have a resource fair, a campus tour, mock room tour, so that anyone living on campus, you could actually see what a residence hall would look like on campus. And then you also have the opportunity to eat lunch in the Commons, which is our on-campus dining facility. These are highly recommended, but the ones with the asterisks, those are not mandatory, but they will be offered. If you're going to the first session, will be offered at the end of the session. If you're going to the second session of orientation, and I'll kind of explain this a little bit more, those will be offered prior to your first welcome session. All right, so our new student orientation dates in person is June 9, 10, 11, 21, 22, and 23. And each of those in-person sessions is going to be broken up into 2 different events, so 2 sessions, and they're done by college. So if you go into our website, bloomu.edu/orientation, that's where you're actually going to be registering. So you'll click on your college, and if you don't know what college you're in, totally fine, because I'm not sure I would have known what college I was in as an incoming student. So you click on the different colleges, and it'll actually show you the different majors. So if you know your major, you'll know which college you're in. If you're undeclared, don't worry, we're having undeclared specific sessions as well. So please just go onto our website, click on those different colleges, click on the different date that you're wanting, because we have the 9, 10, 11 is the first session, and then 21, 22, 23 is the second session. So you have a couple different opportunities. If for some reason you're not able to come in person, or you're just not comfortable coming in person, totally cool, we get it. We are offering those virtual experiences for you. You will not be missing out. The only thing that you won't technically be getting is that on-campus experience, but that's okay. Bloomsburg admissions, they have an amazing virtual campus tour. So if you're not able to make it to campus, we do have that opportunity. So you will be able to join us. You'll be able to still pick classes. You'll be able to do everything else. Like I said, it'll just be a virtual experience. And that'll be on the 12th, June 26th, and then July 24th. So like I said, bloomu.edu/orientation, that's where you're going to go to register. And please keep in mind, because we are still in a global pandemic, our in-person dates are limited capacity. So we can only allow 2 guests with you. And I know that's really hard. Some people really want to bring multiple supporters, and I totally get that, but we just can't. We have to try to get as many people on campus as possible, and it's just not going to be able to happen because of capacity issues. So just be in mind that it's first come, first serve. So if you want to be on campus, please register now. But if you're not able to, once again, the virtual experience is going to be just awesome.
And Kayla, the virtual events, are they organized by the student's academic college, or is that for, like, could they sign up regardless of whatever their college is for any?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, so that's a great question. You would actually sign up for whichever day works best for you. We will be doing breakout sessions via the Zoom. So if you're in College of Ed, you will be broken out at one point with College of Ed students and advisors and faculty members.
Okay, perfect.
All right, the Howls. So these are our Husky orientation and welcome leaders. Fancy Bloomsburg branding for an orientation leader. So these are students that are currently at Bloomsburg right now. So they have been in your shoes not too long ago. They are super excited to welcome you to Bloomsburg. Like, that is literally their job. Their job is to get you hyped and excited to be a Husky. So you will see them jumping around, doing chants, potentially waving pom-poms, whatever they want to do, they'll be doing that because they want you to feel welcomed, because they love being a Husky and they want you to love being a Husky too. But they are great resources because, like I said, they're current students. They've gone through everything that you're about to go through for the most part. Obviously, everyone has their own unique situations, but there's such a diverse group of students that they can offer so many different insights. And we definitely have Howls from every single college. Probably not every single major, but most of them. So you'll be able to relate to them on those levels as well. Pretty much anything is open. So if you have any questions, they will answer them. They will give you their honest opinion. They will give you it's basically the inside scoop. And like I said, they are here to welcome you and help you transition to college, because even if you've been to college before, Bloomsburg is new to everyone that is coming this fall. So it's a great experience. Please do not hesitate to use them as the resources that they are wanting and intended to be used as. If you're interested in being a Howl, so if you come to campus or if you're on the virtual orientation, you're like, oh my gosh, I could totally do this job. I love this. I love the energy. Like, yes, I want to do this. I had a great experience. I want to give a new student the same experience that I had. Please, please, please sign up to be a HAL. There'll be more information about that during welcome week and then in the fall as well.
They're the welcoming committee.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And you can see, as evidenced in the photo, now the student, this is probably like hour 8 of an on-campus orientation event.
Mhm.
The students are pretty drained. They probably had a lot of fun throughout the course of the day, but it's in June or July. It's probably warm, but there's
Mhm.
one person with just, abounding with energy, and it happens to be the HAL. That this is like a
Yep.
perfect encapsulation of kind of who the HALs
Exactly.
are.
It really is. Yep. All right. So Bloom Bound, this is the pre-orientation program that we now have. Thanks to COVID, we had this wonderful experience because we needed to do something last year for our students. So we are now able to offer you this experience as well. So this is basically an introduction to several different resources on campus. It's really intended to be something that you kind of go through at your own pace in the comfort of your home or wherever you'd like to go through this. But it's intended to be experienced prior to you coming to your new student orientation date. So prior to those June dates, we really want you to go through these modules. So well, they're kind of modules. They're just really short snips of almost every area on campus. So from academics to residence life, to clubs and organizations, to athletics, you'll kind of get a little glimpse of everything, of what it means to be at Bloomsburg, what it means to be a Husky. So then when you come to your new student orientation date in June and maybe even July, if you're late admit, you will kind of already have some of that framework, those building blocks. So you're not coming in like, oh, we're Huskies? Oh, we have a quad? Like, no, you already know a lot of that stuff thanks to this Bloom Bound experience.
In the Bloom Bound too, because I've seen this before, a lot of it's going to help you understanding like some of the nuts and bolts of being a BU student. And honestly, there's a lot of them, right? So
Right, of course.
we're talking about 4 years, the next 4 years of your life. Bloomsburg is this giant community with all these different resources and options and opportunities. But the only way you're going to be able to really kind of take full advantage of them is if you know that they exist. And that's kind of where this all begins, because the reality is your new student orientation event, right? When you actually come to campus or you're there online, those days are going to be jam-packed with all these other activities that you either frankly have to be there in person, or you have to be in the online session. Bloom Bound will take care of some of these nuts and bolts things. And I know nothing screams excitement like the terms modules and nuts and bolts, but this will allow you to, yeah, there you go. Okay, that's right. A lot of fun, right? But this will allow you to kind of take full advantage and have confidence in knowing that, what, I'm ready for this. And I know what these words mean, right? There's like a whole BU lingo. Everything has an acronym, just like HAL, right? Everything has an acronym. And you're going to know a lot of these things by completing this Bloom Bound orientation program. So I would strongly recommend doing that before you, arrive on campus or arrive in your online session for your new student orientation. It's super cool.
Can I add a quick thing about it?
Please do.
Of course.
So one of the features of Bloom Bound is as you're going through, if you see something that you find really interesting, you want more information, there's a thing you just click on, a little check mark. And then at the end, when you finished the platform, it gives you the list of all the areas that you were interested in getting more info with their website. So it's a go-to spot that you can utilize. You can go back to that and log in at any point that you are a student at Bloomsburg. You can go in and find what you were interested in learning more about, or if you remember seeing something, but you can't remember exactly what it was, you can go right back in and take a look. It allows you to do that. And it's really fun and interactive. There's videos, there's games. So it's not just us dumping more information on you. So just a quick plug.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both. All right, Zoom with Bloom. So that's what we're currently doing. So we're going to continue that. The baton will be passed from admissions the next couple of days. And we have an entire summer planned for you for Zoom with Bloom. So a few of the different areas that you'll be hearing from are residence life, financial aid, student billing, alumni and professional engagement, And along with that, that's a lot of like career readiness. So sometimes when you hear like alumni and professional engagement, like, well, that's for like at the end of my college career. No, no, no. At Bloomsburg, you start when you step on campus, even before you step on campus. So you'll be hearing about all those different opportunities that they offer for you. You'll hear from different academic departments. You'll also, within those academic departments, be getting prepped for those scheduling sessions that I was talking about during your July new student orientation dates. You're going to, like I said, be actually scheduling yourself. So these academic conversations will kind of prime you for those. So you're not jumping into it like, I have no idea what's going on. This will definitely be that kind of first step to those academic conversations in June. And then we also have our Jumpstart students. We'll have a Zoom with Bloom for them. And then we're going to have many more. And that will all be on our website. Under the registration area, there are accordion like pages. So if you click on the Zoom with Bloom accordion, in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to actually see our entire schedule and actually register for those sessions. And if for some reason you're unable to attend the Zoom with Bloom, don't worry, we are recording it and you will be able to access them via our YouTube channel as well.
Yep. And the nice part about these too is it will put you in contact with the people who are leading these areas on campus, right? So if you have questions about housing, right, well, you're going to be able to speak with someone from housing who's going to be, leading that Zoom with Bloom session. If you have questions about financial aid and questions about paying your bill or about the Jumpstart program, like this is your chance to kind of meet, not kind of, but to meet these people. So you can, put a face with an email address and a phone number and maybe get some of your questions answered ahead of time.
Exactly. All right. So the Before BU course, once again, kind of like what Tom said, this is not like a yay exciting. I get to do all this stuff prior to coming to college. I just want to like chill, Well, this is going to help you. So this is not meant to be a huge burden on you. This is really just to, once again, get into a couple modules, get into Bolt. So Bolt is the Bloomsburg Online Learning and Teaching platform that we have at Bloomsburg. It's a very academic focus. So a lot of professors, they'll put different discussion boards in here. They'll post your grades in here. Some of them might actually ask you to submit papers via Bolt, do quizzes. There's a lot of interaction. And it's not just academics, but it's mostly academics. But this is something that you are going to be using as a student. So you might as well get familiar with it before you start classes, because as soon as you start classes, you're going to be going. So you're going to thank us. Remember this, you are going to thank us for this opportunity to get into Bolt. So once again, like I said, there are various modules, probably like 5 to 7 different areas on campus have developed modules that they believe will help you succeed as a Bloomsburg University student. So then you'll get the experience of completing different tasks, doing, like I said, different quizzes, submitting maybe discussions, watching videos, and it'll be very similar to what you'll be experiencing as a student here at Bloomsburg. And like I said, it's really just to prepare you for the future. So that'll open up beginning of July. You'll get an email notification saying Bolt is open, please go in. And you'll have until the first of classes. So you'll have quite a long time. So it's not something you need to hammer out in 1 week. Like you'll have a little over a month to complete this. And at orientation, the house will be going through Bolt with you as well, and kind of giving you some student insider tips as well.
Yeah, and so Bolt is, well, I told you everything had an acronym. So does LMS, and so that's what Bolt is. Bolt is our LMS. My guess is in high school, you're probably using an LMS right now. It might be like Blackboard. It might be like Schoology is another one that I've heard a lot about. So this is the Bloomsburg version of that. So Google Classroom, was another good example. This is the Bloomsburg version. So when you are enrolled in your class, you will have a virtual, I can't think of a better word, but like accompaniment to that in, either in-person class or virtual class will be in Bolt, right? And that's, like I said, where you would submit papers and you could ask your faculty questions, and there might be like chat rooms in there that you have to post, a daily post on throughout the course of the week and things like that. So this is kind of like your lifeline to your academics. So it's really important that you get used to using this. And that's kind of what the Before Bolt or before BU course is just kind of helping you get familiar with a lot of these, technical tools that you're going to need to be able to be successful at Bloomsburg.
All right, Jen, did you want to talk about this? Or do you want me to talk about it? Me? All right, cool. All right, so at the end of our orientation season, we have Welcome Week. So this Welcome Week begins right after the new students living on campus move in. Right, for this year, it is scheduled for Wednesday. So it'll be afternoon, evening on Wednesday, August the 18th, and it'll run through Sunday, August 22nd, which is the day before classes begin. So this is really our big welcome to Bloomsburg experience. So we understand we're not going to be able to see everyone in person at orientation. We understand not everyone will even be able to attend all of our virtual events or Zoom with Bloom events, but we do know that almost everyone will be on campus for welcome weekend, fingers crossed. So this is just our opportunity just to pull out the big party, the red carpet, the maroon carpet, I guess, for us at Bloomsburg, and just welcome you. So we're going to offer all kinds of different programs. It'll be social programs, academic programs, cultural programs, civic programs, pretty much anything that we think you need to just get ready for that first day of classes on the 23rd. We will also, in the evening, we offer tons of different social and more fun activities, different traditions that we're going to be starting and then sharing with you as well. So this is really your opportunity to really dive in and understand what it means to be Husky, get to know your staff, not your staff, your fellow classmates, because everyone at all these events, they're in the same boat as you. Like, they are coming to campus as a Husky for the first time. So they're super nervous. They're super excited. They're scared, but like totally not wanting to admit it. Like, they're feeling all the feels that you're feeling. So this is definitely your opportunity to just kind of look around and take it all in. And Jen is going to be heading the Welcome Week committee. So she's got everyone, all different people on campus ready to like plan this amazing experience for you. And it's going to be our biggest event since COVID. So this is going to be a big party. Like, this is going to be so big and so huge. So we're so excited about it. Welcome Week's always a great opportunity. But this year it's just going to be bigger. 2021, it's going to happen. And we're so excited to have you all join us that week.
Caleb, was that your Oprah voice?
I don't know what that voice was.
Yeah, like, you get a card, you get a card.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of pent up energy for this, and like, I know this, to me, like, the feeling on campus of Welcome Weekend reminds me of like homecoming. Honestly, if you made me choose between Welcome Weekend and homecoming, I'd probably pick Welcome. I mean, the difference is inches, not feet, but I would still probably pick Welcome Weekend, right? Like, it's the first time people are on campus, they're walking around, they're kind of exploring your new home for the next 4 years. There's like, you have all the the activity fair, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of
there's just a lot of energy in the air.
Yeah,
and all the upperclassmen are coming back. They're excited to see their friends. They're excited to meet the new students. So yeah, it's great.
It's like a 4-day carnival.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a better way to say it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With some workshops in between to help you get better acclimated and learn even more stuff, so that you're better prepared for that first day of classes.
There's a pep rally. It's always a lot of fun. So yeah, we always look forward to this. I can't wait for this weekend. I always like bring my kids up, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
All right. So some frequently asked questions. One thing that we hear a lot is, do we need a parking pass? So obviously, tickets, not fun. No one wants that. You do not need a parking pass for orientation. So usually when you come to campus, you do need to get a visitor's pass, or if you're parking on campus as a student, you will need a parking pass. But no, for orientation, you do not need a parking pass. The BUPD, which is our Bloomsburg University Police Department, they are aware that you are coming. They are actually setting up signs for you. They know they will not be ticketing, or they will be getting a call with a stern voice from Jen and I. So they don't want that. So yes, you do not need a parking pass. You will be good to go. Is there an orientation fee? Yes, there is an orientation fee. You do not pay it at registration. You do not pay it at orientation. It's something that's tacked on to your fall bills within your student record. I think it's My Husky. Yeah, in My Husky, where you would see your student bill. You'll see a one-time orientation fee, and that covers everything for the day and then any kind of merchandise swag that you receive during orientation and welcome week. Do you have to go to orientation? Have to, that's like a really strong word. We're not going to pull you to orientation, but yes, you really should. It is, you're paying for it, might as well go, right? And it's a great experience, like I said, for you to get to know other students, to get to know what being Husky is, to pick your own classes. Like that should be like, that's worth the money right there, because you, like I said, are the first students in Bloomsburg history probably to get to pick your own classes for the fall. So that's a huge thing. And you're going to get free things. That's always fun too. So, and you get to meet us, you get to hang out with us for the day. So who wouldn't want to do that? So yes, have to know, but it's highly, 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 highly encouraged / mandatory. How long is orientation? So if you are coming to the in-person experience, the required sessions are about 4 hours, and that's with about 10-minute breaks in between and travel time. So you're looking at about a 4-hour experience with an hour and a half optional experience. Virtual, we're trying to cap it around 3.5 hours for you, because we understand Zoom fatigue is a thing, and no one wants to, I mean, as fun and exciting as it's going to be, no one wants to stare at a screen for 3.5 hours. You'll turn into a Husky zombie, and no one wants that. So that's about how long orientation is. Do you have to go to virtual, online, and in person, or just one? So everyone needs to do the online, the Bloom Bound, which is the pre-orientation. That's something that everyone needs to do. But then you would pick either virtual or in-person orientation. So you do not have to go to both. You're going to get the same exact material. So pick whichever one makes the most sense for you and your supporters.
Can I?
One other thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Kayla.
With the virtual experience, that is, supporters are definitely welcome to come to that, but we are going to be recording our in-person supporter sessions and sending that out to supporters, because with Zoom, there's a limit to how many devices can be on our meeting. It's about 250, so there is a cap. So if mom, grandma, aunt, uncle, sister, dog, cat, neighbor want to attend orientation with you, that's cool. Have a watch party in your living room, but only one computer. We can't have 7 different devices for one user, because then it just gets overloaded, and it's not going to be the best experience for everyone. So just keep that in mind if you do end up coming to the virtual experience. 1 device per household. We understand that you might have parents or grandparents in other areas, and that's okay. But we really recommend, if you're in that household, just 1 device.
So that's what I was about to say, is that we're getting lots of questions of whether supporters are supposed to come to orientation. Yes, we encourage the supporters to come. It's important that you know what's happening at BU as much as your students. So if your student is able to come to an in-person experience, we do have an experience specific for supporters while the students are doing some of the student-specific workshops. And then for the virtual experience, we're not doing a supporter-specific stuff, but we are recording it so the supporters can watch it at a later time. And then there will be a couple of workshops that are very relevant to the supporters. And then if the supporters kind of want to piece out while the students are doing their thing, talking to the house and building their schedules, they can do so. So just wanted to clarify that, yes, supporters are always welcome and encouraged to be a part of this experience. And if you have any questions about that, never hesitate to reach out and ask us.
Yes, thank you. All right, so that's everything that we have for you. Do y'all have any other questions for us? Sign up for in-person orientation on the 23rd. Since we're scheduling. Jen, do you want to take that question? It's a scheduling question. So Sierra, it looks like she's doing the last orientation date, but she's worried that it might impact her scheduling getting classes.
So we're doing everything that we can to make sure that it's a equal playing ground for the students. I can't guarantee anything, and I will tell you that we recognize that, and
Mhm.
this is a new process for us too. So please don't panic, please don't worry. There are many, many courses for students to take at Bloomsburg University and a wide variety. There will be something for everybody, and we will help you find that. So try not to worry about coming at on that last day and there not being enough classes. I promise you there will be. So we will get it all worked out. Department chairs, the faculty department chair people who run the individual academic departments will be on hand. They're the ones that are going to be helping the students schedule, and they have the ability to help you get, if there's a certain class you have to have and there's nothing, they can help you figure out to make sure you get it. So nobody should panic about getting any of the classes that they need. We are going to help you get what you need. And we'll have more, like where you'll be able to talk to the department chairs in May. There's a Zoom with Bloom. That is an opportunity to talk to the department chairs directly, to get some of these questions answered directly from them. They'll tell you what, they'll be able to tell you how they can help you make sure you get what you need. But we are actually building a mini catalog of all of the choices that the students have to pick from. And there's over 100 courses. So I promise you, there will be classes for you. Even if it's a late, we're going to have people who are admitted late in July, and we'll have classes for them too. So not to worry.
So good question here. Will we get assigned an advisor at orientation?
So I can't answer that question. I'm going to be honest with you. So I believe that it's very possible you will have an advisor assigned to you. I think that happens, Tom, after the students are matriculated, which is not a terminology that I want to explain right now. But basically, there's a certain point on the calendar for all of us at the university behind the scenes where this magical thing happens in the technology, and people have access to more information about all of you, and we're able to, like, we'll be building some of the classes that you need before you even come to orientation, and then you'll be adding some additional classes, and it varies on what you'll get. And during that time period, I think it's possible you will have your advisor assigned to you, and you would find that in either Husky Success or My Husky, either one of them. You can see that. But if you don't see it by orientation, it's a great question to ask during your academic conversation workshop to say, when will I see my advisor listed? Because I believe the department chairs assign the advisors to the students. So they are a great resource to ask that question to. I'm sorry, I can't do better than that right now. I'm going to find out the answer though, because now I need to know.
Now we learn.
Yes.
Jen, so I don't have this answer because I can't remember what was done last year. So there was a question about when they'll get their BUID. So I mentioned that they will be getting an email to upload their picture and do all that information. Do they get their ID if they're living on campus when they check in?
If you're moving in, if you're living on campus, you will receive your ID when you move in. This way you don't lose it over the summer. So you'll get it when you move in, because when you lose it, you have to pay $25 for a new one. So you don't want to lose the ID. It's not fun. I've done it over 12 times. I may have a record at BU. I'm not positive, and it's very expensive. So I know, right? It's bad. So you'll get, if you're living on campus, you'll get it when you're moving in. And if you are commuting, then the card center will be open for you to come in and pick up, and they will have further instructions for that as we get closer to Welcome Week. But you'll receive your ID during that week in August, or the first week of classes you can go and pick up.
Dress well for your ID photo. That's going to be your photo for the next 4 years. It's not like
they get to take their own picture now.
Oh, perfect. My orientation, I didn't look good, so I was stuck with that photo for the next 4 years. And
I was so sweaty on mine. I was like, oh,
I know, so was
like
I.
95 degrees out. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
I know. My mom told me to dress better, and I looked bad.
It's fine.
So anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Now you won't get to take a selfie of yourself and submit it. So be
Bingo.
watching. Oh, this is so important, everybody. If you're not doing this, you got to do it. And you're going to be overloaded when you first go in. You must check your BU email.
Yes.
That is where all information is going. And I
Comparative.
know that the card center has already sent info to the students that have paid their deposits to submit the picture for their IDs. So check your BU email always.
Mhm.
Build it into your everyday schedule at some point. Check your emails.
Yes.
Again, that's the second tattoo. You talked about not getting another tattoo right here.
Yeah. Check your email.
Check your email.
Mhm.
Bingo. When is the Honors College move in?
Okay, so we do not have a move-in schedule yet. It's too early, and obviously we're still in a pandemic, so everything is tentative. So what I'm happy to do is share with you what we've done historically.
Mhm.
And you are not allowed to say, Jen Hunsinger said during the Zoom with Bloom that we're, no. I am saying historically in the past, the Honors College first year students and the learning community students. So if you're in the Honors College or if you're in a learning community, then those students tend to usually move in on the first day because there are multiple activities that are done with them through those programs to get them connected to one another, where they meet their peer mentors and they meet each other, they meet their faculty directors, they're doing different activities, and then they go into the rest of the welcome week activities once Wednesday kicks in. So I am anticipating that Honors College and LC students will be the first group to move in after Jumpstart. Jumpstart comes August 8th. And then I'm anticipating Learning Community and Honors will move in on August 15th. And then the rest of the new students will move in the following days. Can't guarantee. Things are subject to change, but that's what I'm anticipating. And if you're an athlete, it's a whole other ballgame. So you have to follow, there's another move-in schedule for athletes, but I think most fall athletes are moved in by the 15th.
Yeah, you normally have practice. Yep. For the first semester, how many gen ed classes will we take and how many classes for our major will we get to take? That's a really good question.
It's going to vary. We can't
Yeah, it's
answer the
gonna
question. At Bloomsburg University, what your schedule looks like is extremely dependent on what your major is. So, so for like a nursing major, they have a pretty pre-described curriculum right out the gate. So there are very few gen eds that a nursing student picks because of all of the other courses that they have to have. Whereas if you are like a criminal justice student, you take like 1 or 2 courses in the first semester that are very specific to your major, and then you get to pick like 3 gen eds. So it varies a lot, and that is why we are addressing students based on the majors and the colleges that they fall under, because the information you need is unique to the college that you are in. So if you are an education student, you would fall under the College of Education. If you're a business student, you're a Ziegler College of Business student. If you're in anything related to science and technology, you are probably in COST, what we call COST, College of Science and Technology. If you are undeclared, then we call you undeclared or exploratory. And then any of the others that I haven't listed, you are most likely College of Liberal Arts. So, and all the information is very specific to those five areas, can't count. So I'm sorry, I can't answer the question. None of us can, because it just depends on your major.
Yeah.
And again, you'll get more info if you come to the Zoom with Bloom with the department chairs in May. I think they're slated for the week of May 24th.
Yes.
And then more later.
Oftentimes, if you are in a pre-professional major, that would be anything in the College of Education, anything in the Ziegler College of Business, anything in the College of Science and Technology. Generally, you're going to have all right, so you take 5 classes, probably at least a couple of them are going to be part of your major. And the reason for that is because of the 120 credits that you need to graduate, a majority of them will be filled up by courses you need to complete your major. Okay, you don't have a lot of flexibility. Okay, whereas if you are in a degree program in the liberal arts, normally you're going to have a little more degree flexibility. So it's likely you're not going to have as many courses towards your major as what you need, or is what you might be taking if you were in one of our pre-professional programs. So for example, I was a history major at Bloomsburg. Okay. I had friends who were accounting majors. The students who completed a degree in accounting, let's say they needed 60 credits of accounting classes to complete their degree. I only needed 30 credits of history courses, and I'm using round numbers here, to complete my degree. So they had to take 30 more credits of accounting to complete their degree. Whereas for me, I had a little more flexibility. I ended up doing a double major, what have you. But that's just kind of what goes into the difference. And I hope I didn't further confuse anybody, but I just wanted to
Well,
take
I will plug this. When you register for orientation, you get you should receive a confirmation email. And this is really important. In the confirmation email, there is a link to a survey that we're asking all of the students to complete. And that survey is to help us understand what you're planning to do. So if you are like Tom and you are a liberal arts student, maybe you're already thinking about, hey, I think I want to do a dual major, and that we're asking you to tell us that you're thinking of doing that. If you're already thinking about a minor, which I encourage everybody to consider, tell us what you're thinking about doing. If you were undecided and you're like, I don't know, don't worry, I was in your shoes too, so it's okay. We are asking you to tell us what you're leaning towards, and we've listed like categories of potential majors / careers and those categories come from the admissions website. So you can get more information there, but we're asking you to tell us what you're leaning in towards so that we, again, can prepare for when you come to orientation, make sure you're in the right area and the advisors there can be better prepared to help you individually as much as they can. So please make sure you're taking that survey for us. If you're not, I promise we're going to be calling you. So, but if you can save us the phone call, it would help immensely.
I see we have two questions here that Kayla wants to answer live here. Go ahead, Kayla.
Sorry, rookie move. Had to unmute myself. All right, so the one question is, are there any events or activities for transfers? Yes. So orientation is for first years and first time in college students and transfer students. You will actually be tracked out. So there will be a couple sessions where you will be with everyone, and then there will be sessions when you are specifically with other transfers. So the information, because like I said earlier, yes, you're a transfer, but you're new to Bloomsburg. So there is information that you might think, oh, this is for freshmen. No, this is information that you need as a transfer because you are a new student to Bloomsburg University. And transfers, I get it. I was a transfer twice. I was an undergrad transfer and a master's transfer. So I get what being a transfer is like. So yes, you will be with other transfers. You will have howls that you can ask questions of that are specifically transfer questions. We also have a transfer committee on campus, and they are working tirelessly behind the scenes to make transferring to Bloomsburg a lot more seamless and just a more pleasant experience for you. So we will also potentially have them on campus, maybe different tables or whatever. I think we might have actually a transfer table potentially at the info fair. So if you have transfer specific questions, you could go talk to them as well, because there is that resources here on campus, because we do take transfer students seriously here at Bloomsburg. So yes, your June dates, either in person or virtual, are for transfers. The BU Bolt course, that is not necessarily for transfers. That is not required for transfers. Welcome weekend, once again, not required for transfers, but very highly encouraged because you're a new student, and we're basically going to be opening up welcome week to kind of everyone on campus because we just had a pandemic. So last year's first time in college students, they missed out on the whole welcome week experience. And we feel that because we missed out last year too. So welcome week, there will be some first time in college only or directed experiences, but really welcome week is, like I said earlier, a big welcome back to campus experience for everyone. So that can be for first time college transfer, seniors, victory lappers, anyone, it's for you. I actually, a couple years ago, had a couple transfer specific programs during Welcome Week that I'm probably going to be bringing back also. So yes, there will be transfer opportunities throughout the summer.
And to add on to that, we need to be very clear here. The scheduling that is taking place during orientation, that is only for the first time in college students. If you are a transfer student where you have graduated high school, you went to a college, and you are now coming to Bloomsburg University, you do not need to build your schedule. Those schedules are being built for you by the faculty department chairs because your needs are so individualized based on what you're coming to school with. And they will probably be talking to you so your advising session won't be in a computer lab or anything like that. It'll be more one-on-one, a little more intimate with the department chair, where they're going to share some things with you very specific to you being a transfer student in their department. So transfer students, your experience when it comes to your schedule and working with the department chairs during orientation is going to be different than the experience that the first time in college students have. And I saw something in the chat and I want to be clear. So in high school, you have guidance counselors, and in middle school, you have a guidance counselor. So when you come to Bloomsburg University, a counselor at Bloomsburg University is somebody who helps you with your mental health and mental well-being, and they are phenomenal. So if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, you want to go see a counselor. But if you need help with your academics, with scheduling, that is called an advisor. So you will go see an advisor when you're working on your schedules and figuring out what your plan is for your classes, like education, they plan out their classes for 4 years. They do these fun activities. That's all with advisors. But if you need a counselor, like the counselors at Bloomsburg University are there to help you with your health and wellness, and they are phenomenal. So I just wanted to make that clarification quick.
Okay, and was there another question then, Kayla, about let me see here. Oh, room assignments, or did you already get that one? Okay, never mind. All right, I'm coming in freshman year into the honors college with 41 dual enrolled credits. Wow.
Good for you, yeah.
Well done. Will there be someone to help me schedule? I don't know which classes transfer and whether or not I'll need to retake some general ed classes as honors courses. Very good question.
Yes, I can tell you that. Yes.
Someone will be there. Yes.
So honors college students are being treated a little differently. You will still get to schedule your classes. Let me be clear about that. But yes, that's why we are keeping track of who is registering and what programs they are in. So again, that we can make sure that we are giving you the best information possible. And we are not leading you astray. So there's going to be, again, courses that are preloaded onto your schedule. Honors college students, you will probably have a few more classes than some that are added to your schedule because of this. If you're coming in as a dual enrolled with multiple credits, the university is looking at those credits and they will assess. And again, we are going to help you through this. We are all going to work together through this because, again, it's the first time we've ever done this. And we're very excited to do this with you. And we're putting lots of support systems into place. So in addition to the department chairs being available and working with the students, we are also going to have a station set up that includes somebody from admissions, somebody from the registrar, and academic advisors, the general academic advisors. So they're the advisors that know a lot about the gen eds. So if there's any question whatsoever, anybody is unsure, we can send that student to that station and they can help them figure those pieces out if they're unsure or they're hesitant. So if you want to talk to us in advance, don't hesitate to reach out and we can work with you. But yes, we are very aware of the students coming in with those dual enrolled credits, and we're doing our best to make sure that you get the proper classes that you need and we give you the right direction to choose those classes.
All right, let's see here. Did we get most of the questions here?
I believe so.
All right, anybody, any final questions here? Or is everybody also anxiously awaiting the NFL draft like Kayla and Jennifer are at this moment? And if you are, that's fine.
I'm seeing a question here from Shannon about when will you get your exact move-in date? So Shannon, first of all, I highly encourage you to attend the Residents Live Zoom with Bloom session because they may be able to give you a better answer than I can. But typically what will happen is I don't know that you're gonna get your housing assignment, I believe sometime in June. And in the past, the move-in times have gone with the assignment, but because of COVID, I don't know if they'll be ready to give out the move-in assignment that early. So you will have it. It usually comes out at some point in July. In the past, it's always been out in July, but it's possible it might come out sooner than that. I can't give you any finite date, and I'm not sure Residents Life will be able to either, but they may be, by the time they do their webinar, they may be ready to give that date. So highly encourage you to try to go to that webinar or watch the video once we post it for that information.
Perfect. All right. Question from John here. Can we get BU emails on a mobile device? Yes, that's a
Yes.
great question. You can.
Yeah, and I would say it just depends on your preference, but I know myself and a lot of the student leaders definitely, you just download the Outlook app. So it's a blue app. I think there's a white O on it potentially. I don't have my phone with me, so I can't even look at it.
Yeah.
But when you download it, I think it says webmail or Outlook. I can't remember exactly what the detail is, but one of the options you'll choose, and then you actually just do your single sign on, put your Bloomsburg email in there, and then it will connect everything. And there's an option also to, like, I have Gmail for my personal, I can connect it so I'm not having to go through a Gmail and then Outlook. So you can have multiple accounts attached to that one app. But Outlook is the one that I think works the best, at least in my experience and opinion, with our email.
Yeah, actually here I'm in the chat. I am putting the link. So that has directions on how to set that up. In fact, that's probably the easiest way to access it is on your phone.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can access your calendar and do all those things to help you remember like when classes are, that kind of thing. And like I mentioned on the chat, the Howells will be explaining this a little further and giving you some more tips and tricks on the different technology that we use here at Bloomsburg. But obviously, if you want to go ahead and start playing around in it, use that link, but they will be following up with that information in June.
Okay.
Tom, there's two in the Q&A that I think are more you than us.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the first one, are there any more dorm cribs planned? Yes. Glad you like them, honestly, because we post these things and we never have any idea if people like them or not. Yes, we have one that's going to be, I guess, as the kids would say, dropping this week. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, is when we have it booked in. It will be, what residence hall is it? Northumberland with tour guide Anthony. Yes, we absolutely will have, and there will probably be more to come as well. Yes, great question. Where can I get a copy of my admissions letter so I can get the password for the My Housing request? I would just do this, actually. Just call the admissions office or email the admissions office, and I'll put our contact information in the chat, and we can just give it to you over the phone. As long as it's the student calling, that's information that we can deliver over the phone here. And let me just type that in there.
Any other last minute questions? We want to make sure that all of your questions are answered.
We work for you. So anything at all. Anything at all. All right, well, guys, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. I hope that this was an informative event for you. We've been really excited to kind of preview and outline what the new orientation process is going to look like. Frankly, back in my day, I feel comfortable saying that now. I'm old enough. This all used to happen in a day, right? So you would come, they'd run you through this gauntlet of information that you need to know about Bloomsburg. they'd send you home for 2 months, and then you know, come moving day and welcome weekend, you'd be expected to hit the ground running, and then you'd spend the next like 2-3 weeks of the semester trying to get acclimated. But I think the process that Jen and Kayla have implemented here is so much more beneficial. It's almost like a preseason. You know, we've been talking about the NFL. This is kind of like the preseason to your first year as a student at Bloomsburg. And this is an important enough experience where I don't think it's not best delivered drinking from a water hydrant on one day, you know, so that's why we're trying to, you know, onboard you over the course of a summer and give you something to look forward to. But as I have been delivering the soliloquy, we had some more questions here. Still didn't hear anything about academic scholarships. When is the latest that we'd hear? Good question. We are still awarding scholarships. Let me give you the contact information of the gentleman you would want to reach here. His name is Sean Stout.
And there was a question in the Q&A about the COVID vaccine, and we are not currently requiring that of anyone on campus, students, employees. So yeah, at the moment, that is not a requirement.
Right. And I
Highly
don't
encouraged, but not a requirement.
encourage. I don't know that we are able to require it. I think
No, I'm pretty sure the head of our marketing department said that would not be something that we would even be able to
Right.
require.
Good question though. Anything else? Okay. I hear my wife holding my kids at bay here. So I know that is my calling card. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. Like I said, oh, wait, I think we have one more question. Any plans on continuing to monitor next year for COVID symptoms? Good question. You know what, honestly, Jenny, you were getting ready to say something.
Yeah. So when it comes to COVID, you all know what we know. So everything that we know about COVID is on our website. If you go to bloomu.edu, on the main page, it says COVID-19. You click on that, and that's where they're putting all the updates. I'm anticipating that what they did for the spring and what they did for opening for fall, they've been putting in information. So that might be coming in the future over the summer. But we all know that COVID, things are changing on a pretty day-by-day basis. So we're all kind of in this wait and see pattern, which for me as a planner is awful. Like I'm so twitchy by not being able to plan things, but that's what we're in. But Bloomsburg has been doing everything they can to be as transparent as quickly as possible with everybody. So we don't know anything except right now that we are moving forward with trying to open up in person, and there will be some protocols put in place, but what those protocols are really going to depend on what CDC, PA Department of Health are all mandating that we do. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm sorry, I know it's very blurry and fuzzy, but it's all we have at the moment. It's all any of us have in this country at right now. So
we will be in person for the fall.
Yeah.
That's you know, that question is going to happen. I mean, I would imagine there's going to be some type of safety protocols in place
sure.
should something happen. But you know, other than that benign kind of response.
And please keep in mind for the orientation dates in June, I know CDC is putting out different guidelines now when it comes to whether you're vaccinated or not. We will, as long as the university is still mandating masks on campus, you will need to wear a mask on campus, whether you're vaccinated or not. I'm vaccinated. I will be masked up the whole time. Kayla will be masked up the whole time. All of our house that are vaccinated will be masked the whole time. We don't know enough yet, so we are all going to do everything we can to make sure that everybody is safe, regardless if they're vaccinated or not. So please be prepared to be masked up, whether you're vaccinated or not.
Yep. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you in the future and to seeing you at your new student orientation event in June and welcome weekend in August.
And in all the Zoom with Blooms this summer.
Woo-hoo.
And in all those too. Yes. And in all those too. Yes. Yes. And Kayla, officially passing the baton to you for Zoom with Bloom.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, good night, y'all. Thank
All right,
you.
good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.